We shouldn't have to be afraid. It's dark as we're walking out to my car with my daughter Maddie. We had spent the whole day at our county fair, yelling on rides and just enjoying our day. My head was hurting after all the spinning of the crazy spider ride that threw us around back and forth. The smell of all of the different fried snacks still lingered in the air as I pushed Maddie in her stroller. Once we got to the car, I set up her car seat, turned to grab her as she was still asleep in her stroller. But nothing. No yell, no whine, nothing. My daughter was gone, and no one was around for me to yell for help. I've never felt so helpless and numb. I should have never left her alone and out of my sight. I wish there was some way that I could track her. I called the police as soon as I saw her empty stroller. They told me to give a description of what she was wearing along with what she looked like. I told the officer that she was 3 years old. She had shorter brown hair that sat on her shoulders. She was wearing a light blue shirt, black shorts, along with black shoes. I couldn't help but cry on the phone with the police. I just kept thinking about where she could be. David Finkelor, who is the top director of the Crimes Against Children Research Center and the co-director of the Family Research Laboratory, makes a startling point about kidnappings. According to Finkelor, national estimates suggest that more than 100,000 children in the U.S. experience an attempted abduction by a non-family member each year. Most of those incidents befall young children, boys and girls ages 4 to 11, and despite not being completed, cause both children and their parents significant alarm. Finkelor, page 941. In my story above, I gave an example of what could happen to a child if the parent is not watching at close distance and why children should be tracked. According to world-known American Weekly magazine, every 40 seconds that we are going on with our day, one child is abducted. This really made me stop to think about how much things would change if there was an option for people to be microchipped when they were first born or at any time in their life. Imagine if your child was taken from you. How would you feel if you had no way that you could find them? Patrick Mesterton, CEO and co-founder of Epicenter, is currently microchipping his employees so that they can scan into doors, use printers, and other office items with the sway of their hand. Do you find it necessary to have a microchip in use just so you can use the printer or to open the door? I would rather find a missing family member over swiping into work on the daily. In 2004, the Food and Drug Administration, also known as the FDA, decided to approve the VeriChip, which will help check individuals' medical information like confirm identity, check their blood type, potential allergies, and check all of the different medical history of patients even if they're unconscious. January 17, 2018, and updated August 15, 2018, Cleveland 19 News that stated that Ohio ranks 4th in the nation for human trafficking. And in a recent report of the Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force, more than 300 people in the state were victims of human trafficking. Imagine how many people we could save if we had these tracking devices. All of these different companies have had this great idea for chipping, and each and every company has brought up their own idea of the best way to microchip and what the microchip would be used for. Some of the different ideas might be more laid back in your mind when the chipping for medical use and tracking is more important. Personally, I think that it would make more sense to be chipped for GPS tracking and medical uses. I don't really see it fit that the chip needs to be used to help you swipe into a door or to use the printer. I hope that when the chip becomes a bigger idea in society and in the market, that people will choose to use that resource for the better. It is dark. We were walking out to my car with my daughter Maddie. We had spent the whole day at the county fair yelling on rides and just enjoying our day. My head was hurting after all of the spinning on the crazy spider ride that threw us around back and forth. The smell of the different fried snacks still lingered in the air. I pushed Maddie in her stroller. Once we got to the car, I grabbed my little girl out of her stroller and put her into the car. I folded up the stroller and placed our bags of cotton candy into the trunk of my car. I shut the door quietly so that I didn't wake Maddie. I slid into the driver's seat, trying not to make any loud sounds. I could see her little chest moving up and down as she laid in her seat sound asleep. The drive home was quiet, and I was so blessed to be able to have such a great day at the fair. I am not sure what I would do if I didn't have my daughter. When my daughter was born, I made sure that she was microchipped so that if anything were to ever happen to her, I would know where she was. I now have the ability to pull up the tracker on my phone and watch as she moves to different places, even if it is in the confinement of our home. I am so blessed that the change in technology is working for the better.